everybody, it's Guilty here, and welcome finally to the other list that I wanted to end 2024 with, my top 20 best SH Figuarts of 2024. Now, straight up, this video has also, much like my top 10 favorites list, stressed the hell out of me, and honestly, I was kind of thinking about just letting it go. But I really did want to make this one as the counterpart to my top 10, to my top 10 favorites, to give all the great SH Figuarts I couldn't put on my favorites list the attention and the love that they absolutely deserved. And as of recently, I have been pretty darn stressed with just life in general. I'm sure most of you can relate. So I did what I always do when I'm stressed out. I watched the apex of fiction, aka Yusuke, and now I'm ready to do this. Let's go. Just so So, before we get into the list itself, I do want to explain what exactly is going on here. So, of course, like I stated in my top 10 favorites list, those were my personal top 10 figures of last year. Those were the ones that did the most for me, that I was most happy to add to my collection. And it was not objective at all. It was a completely subjective list of my favorites. Completely subjective all the way across the board. This list, however, is going to be, for the most part, objective. These figures are being ranked by how genuinely good they are, their bang for your buck, their accessory counts, their quality, all that. However, I did want to throw one thing in there about that. I am going to put a little bit of character bias in this list. Not really in the way of say, I'm not a fan of One Piece, so I'm not going to rank like a One Piece figure that I think is better than maybe some of the Naruto figures just because I don't like One Piece as much. That figure can still get higher than that, but I'm not going to put, say, let me see here, Sunraku here. You know, I liked this show quite a bit. It was really good. And by the way, none of these guys are on the list. These are all just here to have something for you guys to look at, unlike in the top 10 where it was just a white screen for the first like 5 minutes. But yeah, like Sunraku here, you know, he's a character from a pretty, you know, niched anime that came out last year. I really enjoyed it, but I wouldn't definitely not put someone like Luffy over, I would definitely not put him over somebody like Luffy, right? So that's what I mean when I say there is going to be a little bit of character bias in here. It's not like bias towards me, it's just bias. Is this a more, you know, beloved character than others, you know? Or Reno would have actually been a better one right there. Like, you know, he's just another one of the Kaiju No. 8 officers. He's a cool character and all, but I wouldn't rank him over somebody like Sakura or Toshiro right there. So that's what I wanted to explain right there. Without further ado, there's no honorable mentions. This is top 20, so it's honorable mentions would be a little bit redundant, I think. Here we go, top 20 best SH Figuarts releases of 2024, obviously excluding all the ones I didn't buy, because obviously I didn't buy most of the One Piece ones, although I did buy a couple, and also obviously no Dragon Ball. So without further ado, let's do it. Oh, and by the way, all of these are very, very good figures as well, just didn't quite make the top 20. I'm growing to like Momo a good bit. I still stand by my review 100%, but I'm growing to like her a little bit. She's fun to pose at least. Oh, one more thing I also wanted to throw out as well. Obviously, Deku is not going to be on this list because I still don't have him. Mine will be delivered, I think, early next week. So I'll say this. I believe Deku will probably be worthy of being on this list. So in the review of him, I will state where I would have put him on this list. Like, who I would knock off the list and put him there in place of. So that's how we'll do it right there. All right, let's do this. Alrighty, coming in at the number 20 spot on this list, I'll be honest, I have grown to like this figure quite a bit, but I definitely think this is where it's going to have to go on the list. The SH Figuarts, 1000 Year Blood War, Kenpachi Zaraki. Look, this figure has a serious shelf presence. It looks really, 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 really freaking cool, but overall, it's just definitely not like, it's not one of the first SH Figuarts I would recommend. The shelf presence is awesome, but some of the joints are a little bit looser than I personally would like them to be, and he doesn't really have that many really, really good accessories, and I even pointed out some of the flaws. Obviously, I've reviewed every single one of these figures, so if you want a more in-depth look at any of the figures on this list, that review is on the channel. I'm pretty sure every single thing on here, yeah, every single thing on this list has a review on my channel, so I'll say that, but yes, this guy is really, really good. Like I said, he has a really, really huge shelf presence. He just looks really, really cool on the shelf. Your eyes just get totally drawn to him, but the captain's cloak, just like the other captains, is very clunky, but it's even more clunky on Zaraki because of how much bigger it is, because he's so much bigger than Byakuya and Toshiro, but still, it looks really, really cool. I have seen some people got like a third-party cloth cape for him, and I'm kind of thinking about picking one up for him as well, just for him, though, because I think Byakuya Byakuya's is fine. Like, Byakuya's you can still make look pretty cool here. See? It looks pretty cool still. But yeah, this list is objective, but this figure is really, really, really cool, and I did want to put it on this list. But of course, this is the top 20, so most likely, this is the figure that will get knocked off for Deku, but I still think this thing is really, really cool. Especially if you're a massive Bleach fan, definitely a must-have for your shelf. And I am rapidly becoming a massive Bleach fan, or re-becoming a massive Bleach fan, I should say. Alright, number 19. And I'll be honest, I wanted to put this one higher, but I think it'd be a little bit, I think it's iffy it being on the list at all, but man, at the moment, Frieren is absolutely in my top 10 favorite anime of all time. This show was absolutely freaking incredible. I can't wait for season 2, and I really, really, really like looking at this figure on my shelf. This is definitely not a go-to SH Figuarts for someone who wants a super posable figure, but if you just really, really loved this show like I did, and you love this character, this figure is really, really pleasing to look at and pleasing to own. I don't know, obviously the posability is not that good. You can check out my review if you want to know more about that, but basically the entire upper half is just really, really hindered by the outfit, even the dress piece as well. You could get a cloth upgrade kit for her, but there's gonna be ups and downs to that you're gonna have to look into, because I'm personally okay with it in the stock configuration. But I don't know, this thing just has a serious presence to it. I just love looking at it. Like, I have no regrets picking this up because I really love the character, I really love the show, and it's just a great little totem of it to have in my collection with among all my other figures, and it's so great that she's so in scale with the rest of them as well. I don't know, man, I just have no regrets about this. I really, really, really like this figure. There's, like I said, there's some character bias going on with this list, so yeah. I really, really love this thing. Number 19. Coming in at number 18 is gonna be an interesting one. SH Figuarts Makima. I had a very, very interesting experience with this figure, because I got it and I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it, you know, it's decent. But then I moved on from the review and I was like, this figure's okay. I wish it was a little taller. I wish it was a little bit more built out so it looked better with Denji and Power and all that, because I think it's pretty much unanimously agreed that she's just a little too small. Like, not by much. She's just a little bit too small. But the months and the weeks passed, and I found myself constantly grabbing this figure off the shelf, constantly reposing her, using damn near all the accessories, even the little squat down leg pieces, and just having a ton of fun with this figure, honestly. Like, it's actually a really, really, really cool figure, and I honestly really, really like it. So yeah, I'm putting this on the list, man. I don't know if this will be a super popular opinion. I have seen some other people say they really, really love this thing as well. And again, I had a rocky one of this. I didn't love it that much at first. I did like it originally, but I wasn't like super into it originally, but I've really come around on this figure. I actually think it's really cool, and I don't feel the need to go for the Figma. I really, really love this as my Makima, man. So, number 18, Makima. Coming in at the number 17 spot is the first figure of a line that I'm sure you guys expected to see quite a bit of on the list. And yes, you're going to be seeing a lot of this line on the list. And that is, of course, Captain Mina Ashiro, the first figure from the Kaiju number 8 line that I am putting on this list. I'll be honest, this was a tough one to find the spot for her, because I loved this thing when I first got it, and I still love this thing. I still absolutely love this figure. It is amazing, and I really thought I was going to be putting this one on my top 10, on my personal top 10, my top 10 favorites, but overall, I will admit, the Kaiju officers, I think they get a little bit more hate than they deserve. I think they're really, really solid figures, personally. I absolutely would say that they're overall stronger than the Bleach line, but they're definitely not perfect as well. It's mainly the torso movement that does hold these figures back from being truly phenomenal. If they had that torso movement, these things would be fucking Naruto level, honestly. Which is really, really sad that they're just like inches away from perfection, basically. So yeah. And I still haven't gotten Hoshino. I just can't afford him right now. I really, really want him, so I will get him at some point in January for sure. But I just really, really love this figure, man. I don't know, it's the cannon, the viewfinder, all of it, all the accessories, just really, really, really cool. Has a huge presence on the shelf. And I know I said in the Kikoru review that I had this problem where her head kept wanting to pop off, but I decided to put some kikis in that neck joint, and now the head stays on perfectly right there. You can see, totally good. So that problem is fixed. And dude, these accessories, dude, just look at this freaking figure, man. I was so surprised that I saw so little love for this figure. I feel like I was the only person who really, really loved this thing and gave it a super positive review, because I honestly think this figure is awesome, and I think if you get it, you're going to love it as well. And one thing I just loved about the Kaiju number 8 line in general, with the officers, is how, like, versatile they were. How they could use different, how they could, like, you could use the guns from other figures and put them on them, or you could use the pistol from the model kit, the Kikoru model kit, and put it on them as well. Like, it was just such a fun freaking line. I loved the versatility, obviously, and this figure was probably the epitome of that. Even though she's not my favorite of the officer figures, she's probably the epitome of that, because you have the viewfinder face, which is such a cool and different look from the usual one, and you have all these really, really great face options. You know, the defiant face, you had the smiling face. There's just so much range of posability and display options with this figure and the Kaiju number 8 line as a whole, and that's why I just really, really, really dug it, despite a lot of people, you know, it not really being everybody else's thing. A lot of people dunking on it, getting out of the line, come backing out pretty darn fast. Aside from the kaiju, seems like the kaijus themselves were super well received. It was the officers that were a little bit rocky with people, but I thoroughly, really, really enjoyed them, and Mina was definitely one of my favorites. So number 17, Captain Mina Ashiro. And for number 16, we're continuing with the Kaiju number 8 line, because we have Kikoru, who is my personal favorite of the officers, at least right now before getting Hoshida. I love this figure, man. I think she's super duper cool, and it blows my mind that, like, nobody in their reviews talked about how this one has so much more torso posability than the others. Like, obviously, it still doesn't have a ton of torso posability, but it's way better than all of the other figures in the line. Like, you can see she can even do, like, the freaking Robo Crotch Thrust or whatever. Yeah, they just did really, really well in this, and I really love the size on her. I think she just scales so perfectly with all the other shonen battle ladies in your collection. Love the windswept hair as well. I just love this one, man. It's obviously nothing like too extraordinary or anything like that, but I think it was because she was such a fun character in the show. She was definitely one of the fan favorite characters in the show. So yeah, I personally think she was definitely one of the strongest figures of the line, and I really, really like her. So number 16, I'm giving it to Kikoru. All right, number 15. I had to figure out where I was going to put this guy, because objectively, this figure is not the best, but I just love it so damn much, and I'm sure you all know exactly who it is based off that. It is, of course, Kenshin. Yes, Kenshin, he's my favorite of the Rurouni Kenshin line, which was an amazing, amazing line. And I don't know if it's just because he's the main character, he's the head honcho, but honestly, I don't think that's what it is. I just think this figure is there's something about this figure, some kind of secret sauce or something, that just makes this thing really, really satisfying to pose. Maybe it's the size, which is interesting because I've complained about the size, but I don't know, maybe it's these extra articulation bits in the ankles right here, or these super duper smooth elbow joints, or just the beautiful quality on him overall, which I'm really surprised they didn't see more people talking about how nice the plastic quality is on this guy. He just feels really, really, really good. Like, obviously, I don't think it's any spoiler that I'm got Tanjiro on this list. Tanjiro's gonna be here. Tanjiro feels heavier than him and is only a 30, no, he feels heavier than Tanjiro, which, I mean, he is more expensive than Tanjiro, so that totally makes sense, but I don't even know what I'm getting at right here. I'm just trying to defend the fact that I have a figure that's definitely not one of the best SH Figuarts of the year in this list for objective top 20 best SH Figuarts of the year that I got to experience anyway. But I love this thing, and I think it deserves to be on this list. I think this figure's awesome, and I think if you get it, you're gonna love it. And as I said in my top 10 review, with how my review was received and all the comments I've gotten from you guys telling me how much you love this guy, I don't think it's going to be that controversial to have this guy on my list. Again, he's definitely the weakest of the Rurouni Kenshin line, but that might just be because the other two were so damn good. So, I don't know. I think this figure's awesome. I absolutely love it. Number 15. And we're going to stick with Rurouni Kenshin for a little bit longer here, because my number 14 is Saito Hajime. Really, really, really cool figure. I'll be honest though, I love putting this guy in like really basic, badass looking poses, but I haven't really had a lot of success getting him in like super action poses. I love this figure, and I think he is one of the highest quality SH Figuarts to come out, just in terms of his plastic quality. He just feels awesome, man. This thing just feels so robust, like it could take a damn bomb or something, which I love. I love that in an action figure, but I do think there's some other ones on this list that also fall into that category, and they're a little bit more fun to pose for me. I don't know, maybe it's these little pieces in the legs here, or maybe the fact that his legs are so damn long or something, and it makes them look a little bit weird when you're trying to do super action dynamic poses, but this guy can cut those power stances like it's his fucking job, dude. He looks so badass. You don't even have to try, dude. You just put him standing on your shelf, and he looks like an absolute bruiser, man. I love the way that this dude looks. He was a really cool character in the show as well. Definitely looking forward to getting to see more of him in the future. Yeah, I like this figure a lot. I think he's really good. Definitely deserved to be on this list. Number 14, Hajime Saito. Oh, actually, one more reason why he's at this point. I definitely do not care for how they handled the sheath on this guy. This is a problem. I wish they had pointed this out a little bit more in my review of him. I feel like because you are meant to be able to take this sheath off and on, and it goes into that little port right there. But I feel like this thing is definitely not going to last forever. But I don't know how much more it can take. As you can see, there's some serious stress right there. I feel like if you pop this out one more time, that is going to tear right there. And then it's going to be really, really hard to keep that on right there. So I think that's a genuine flaw as well with this figure that I did want to point out. It wouldn't ruin the figure, obviously. You just wouldn't be able to have his sword down here, or you probably could, but you wouldn't be able to like pick him up. As soon as you picked him up, it would probably like fall off or something like that. So did want to point out that problem as well. Another reason why I feel like he needs to be a little bit lower on the list than maybe you were probably expecting him to be, because he is a really, really, really strong release. Coming in the number 13 spot, let's get him out of the way. You guys knew he was going to be here. I love this figure so much. The Naruto Top 99 Naruto. In all honesty, I think this is one of the best figures of 2024, but it is a re-release of a previously released figure. Now, that previously released figure, in my opinion, is 100% worthy of the 2024 level of quality that we have reached. But this one's even better because I love the extra work that they did on the face sculpts to really bring Naruto's personality to life that I do feel like the first Shippuden release, as great as a figure as it is, did miss the mark on just a little tiny bit. I mean, if you never had this figure, it probably wouldn't have been that much of a big deal, but because we have this figure and we have these way, way, way better faces, yeah, this thing just is so nice, man. I love this damn figure so much. I thought about picking up another one as well. He's just so good, man. He's just so good. This figure's endlessly posable. Great accessories with this one as well, with the banner and whatnot. And he works as a great little upgrade kit for your original as well, because you can take all the face sculpts from him, all these amazing, much better face sculpts, and put them on your original Shippuden Naruto as well. So yeah, this figure is the bee's knees. I absolutely love it. Buy it if you haven't already. Like I said, I would put this one higher, but I can't justify it since it is basically a re-release, but it's so damn good, man. So number 13, Naruto 99 Naruto. And coming in the number 12 spot, I had to figure out where I was gonna put this guy, of course. We have the Romance Don Luffy. I knew I was gonna put this guy on the list. He's way too good to not put on here. Of course, I'm not a One Piece fan, at least right now where I am in the series, but this figure is awesome. And for $35, I think it's definitely like a must-have for almost any SH Figuarts collector, whether or not you're a fan of One Piece, because he's still an iconic shonen character, and it looks awesome putting him with Naruto and Ichigo and all that. You can have so much fun with that alone. He's 100% worth it. 100%. He's $35, man. It's honestly a great fucking figure. I know a lot of people have this as their number one, their number two. Like I said, there is character bias in this list, but this is an absolute must-have of the year. It's really, really, really nice. He even comes with some really great accessories for being a $35 release. Obviously not the treasure chest that comes with the Nami, but he comes with the meat stick as well, a bunch of other faces. Like that you do have the option to put him without the straw hat, even though I much prefer having him with the straw hat. I feel like it is a lot better with the straw hat because it makes his head look a lot more in scale with the rest of the other characters. If you watch my review, then you know what I'm talking about. If you put him with that head sculpt that doesn't have the straw hat on, his head looks a little bit too big and a little bit out of scale with the rest of your SH Figuarts line. But he's still a really awesome figure. Love this pointing figure as well. This figure's got a lot of emotion in it for a $35 release. So yeah, I am putting him at number 12. I think he is really, really, really good, man. And pretty much everything I said about Luffy can also apply to the number 11 spot. It is Tanjiro. Not a fan of the character, not a huge fan of the series. I like it quite a bit. I like it all right, but yeah, this figure is really, really cool. And honestly, the figure itself is not like anything too impressive. The thing that impresses me about this figure so much is that $35 release, is that $35 retail price. I don't even know how they're making money off of this release for $35. Like, it doesn't feel any less quality than any other SH Figuarts figure. I will say maybe there's a few things, like I've said, like, his arm can pop off a little bit easy, but I mean, it also goes in really easy, and it's not like it falls off when you like touch him or anything like that, which is where it would be a problem. it's not really a problem. And he comes with a good amount of accessories as well, some good faces and 2 swords. And yeah, I just don't know how they made money off of this. It's just an absolute bargain of a release, man. And I think for that reason, it's almost 100% worth picking up for just about any collector, whether or not you're a fan of the series or the character or whatever. It's a fun figure to have and just pose around. The scale is a little bit off with other shonen characters, but it still looks pretty darn good with them all. And yeah, it's pretty darn cool. This is definitely the best Tanjiro that's ever come out. And see, that right there, that puts into perspective how insane a $35 release of this, because this is better than the Figma and the Buzz mod in every way, shape, and form. In looks, accessories, well, maybe not accessories. In looks, definitely. Probably articulation as well. And it's literally like over half the price. Yeah, this thing is crazy. I don't know how the hell they got this out for $35, but it needs it to be praised, man, because damn, it would have been, imagine if that Deku was $35, dude. Number 11, Tanjiro. And coming in at the number 10 spot, hopping back to Kaiju number 8 with Kaiju number 8 himself. Literally Kaiju number 8. Man, this figure's awesome. When this thing first came out, I saw everybody and their mother praising the ever-loving hell out of it, but it feels like once the officers started rolling out and people were finding themselves kind of disappointed with them, I saw a lot of people trying to say this figure, it's still good, but it's not the best thing ever. I honestly think this is a fantastic release, especially since it was only $50, I think. It's got great accessories, great articulation. They even threw in some extra accessories before he came out. He wasn't supposed to come with the powered up arm or the powered up leg, but they threw those in at the last second. I don't feel like they needed to. I feel like the value was absolutely there for $50 when he's so much bigger than almost every other SH Figuarts, man. He's awesome. This thing is awesome. And it's even cooler once you get some of the other figures in the line because you get all the DLC faces for him as well. He's super cool, man. And like I said in my review, I've said it in one review recently, I think it was actually my top 10, once that accessory pack comes out for Deku with the lightning effects, we're probably going to be able to use those on this guy as well. I'm sure you'll be able to wrap them around the legs or something, which will look freaking sick, man. Yeah, I absolutely consider this figure a must-have of the year. I really wanted to put this guy on my top 10 favorites, but there just was not quite enough space. Of course, he was an honorable mention, so you can basically count this guy as, I think he was number 12. So yeah, I love this figure. I think he's awesome. I think he deserves more love than he's actually been getting. There's so much craziness going on with this figure that I don't think anybody even pointed out in their reviews, that I saw anyway. I didn't watch too many reviews on this guy. Actually, I did watch quite a few reviews on this guy, but he has 5 million joints in the torso right here. People went absolutely insane on the officers for not having the torso posability, and they were trying to justify this figure as not being awesome, but he literally has 1 million joints in the torso. He's even got this hinge piece right here at this section, and then his entire head is just amalgamation of ball joints. This thing has more ball joints in it than probably every figure on this list combined. Really cool figure, man. I really like this thing. I think it's well worth the pickup, and that is my number 10. And guys, look, I really did want to put Kaiju number 9 as the number 9 spot because it would have been fucking perfect. But I'm sorry, I'm going to put number 9 as Shinomori. I know, scumbag DK, you couldn't just line up the number 9. That would have been freaking perfect. But I'm sorry, I think he's better than Shinomori. So I got to put Shinomori as number 9. Definitely the best figure of the Kenshin line. Really awesome. I will admit, even though it didn't really bug me at first, over the months, these little pieces of the coat have actually gotten a little bit annoying to me. I think the same thing actually did happen with the bleach captains as well, man. It's just too much, man. I don't know. I'm not a big cloth goods fan, so I don't want to go too crazy on it, but I don't know. It's not a problem with the figure. It should not be taken as a problem with the figure because it's accurate to the character, but it does make it a less fun experience to play with than somebody like Luffy. But he's definitely a stronger figure than Luffy. He's got great posability, awesome swords. I love the swords. The display option that you have to put him with his hands in his pocket and the coat and the big ol' sword through there. I love that as well. I saw some people saying that it wasn't that it didn't really work for them. It works perfectly fine on my copy, so I'm not sure. If it doesn't work, then I'm sorry, but it looks super duper cool, man. And the dual Kodachis are super cool as well. Plus, he comes with this awesome battle damage face, and he even comes with that extra one for Kenshin. And much like the other figures in the Kenshin line, the quality here is just phenomenal. He's got such good plastic quality, beautiful joint tolerances, man. Just a really cool figure, man. Definitely think I think they did pretty much as good on this figure as they could have. And I love his freaking elf shoes as well. So, number 9, Shinomori. Coming in at the number 8 spot, it's time for me to own up to my mistakes. In my top 10 favorites, I stated that I was 100% happy with the list, that I wouldn't change anything. And then a couple days after I recorded it, I was super happy with how it came out. I looked at my shelf and realized Denji. I forgot he came out in 2024, and he absolutely would have made my list. So I fucked up. I was kind of thinking about maybe just sweeping this under the rug, like nobody noticed. It's okay. We'll just move on, you know. But I gotta own up to my mistake. And Chainsaw Man's not on this list because he came out last year. He would be because he's a fucking awesome figure, but he's just here for the display, to complete the display here. But Denji is so good, man. I love this fucking figure. He is so good. I didn't think I would be so into a standard SH Figuart Denji, because he is just kind of a normal looking dude, obviously. But man, there's just something about it. Maybe I just love Denji way more than I think I do. Maybe I just love Chainsaw Man in general more than I think I do, because this figure's awesome. I've played with this thing so much. I love his accessories. The Pochita is awesome. The fact they went the extra mile and gave Pochita alternate faces as well is so damn cool. The magazine as well, well, not the best. I think it could have been a little better. It would have been cool if they put the hinge in there. I made a full review on these two. One of my favorite reviews I made this year, actually, was my review I did of these two. I think I did a good job on that, not to toot my own horn. But yeah, I love this figure. I think this thing is awesome. I had a ton of fun with it when I first got it out. I will state a few flaws with him, is he doesn't have like the best torso movement, and especially with this figure, that would have been awesome because it would have allowed him to get him in way better poses. And the axe that he came with absolutely sucked, but luckily I have the Figma, which has the way better axe. And I know it's not, fair to have him with that axe for this comparison, because obviously that's an entirely different figure, not even eligible for this list because it's not an SH Figuarts, but I don't care, man. I spent my freaking money on that garbage fucking Figma. I'm gonna take the one advantage that I have over everybody else with this figure. But yeah, this thing's awesome. I absolutely would have put this on my favorites of the year if I had remembered he was there. So yeah. I think I would just knock off like either Kikoru or Kaiju number 9. I don't know who it would have been, but knock one of those off and put him on there because he's awesome. I love this figure, man. There you have it, number 8. Let's get into number 7. All right, coming in at the number 7, it hurts, guys. I know it hurts to have him at number 7 and not number 9, but it's Kaiju number 9. This figure's awesome, man. Again, I think this thing just really surprised everybody when it came out, because I'm sure a lot of people were expecting it to be like mid, just like a lot of people thought that the officers were. I liked the officers from the beginning, so I wasn't too scared about this release, but it turned out to just be awesome. It turned out to easily be the best and most bang for your buck figure in the line. It's just so cool, man. It's got awesome posability. The forearms are super duper cool. The torso articulation, the leg articulation, the fact that you get all those alternate heads and alternate freaking everything. The forearms is so freaking cool, man. Everything about this thing is so cool. These little effect pieces right here. I mean, just look at this thing. It has such a presence on the shelf. It's such a creepy design, and it works so well with like so many displays. Like you can display it with your Demon Slayer figures, your Jujutsu Kaisen figures, your Don to Don figures, man. You don't even need to be a Kaiju number 8 fan to appreciate this figure. It's just so damn cool. The quality is absolutely awesome on him. He's just awesome, man. This figure's so freaking cool. This probably would win the vote for coolest SH Figuarts release of 2024, man, with the exception of maybe Itachi. Yeah, man, I really hope we get some more Kaijus in the Kaiju number 8 line, because while the officers are really cool, and I defend them personally, I think the Kaijus are definitely where it's at. Like I said, number 8 was awesome, and this guy is even better. Like I said, one of the coolest releases of the year, definitely. So, if we got Kaiju number 10, I think that would be sick as well, and I think there's some other major Kaijus coming in Season 2 as well that I think would be awesome if we got as well. They just look so cool together on the shelf, too. Coming in at number 7, I'll be honest, I wanted to put this figure way higher, but obviously this list is objective, so I gotta be objective with it. So number 6 is Dual Zangetsu Ichigo. Oh my god, I love him so much, man. I love this goddamn figure so freaking much. And it would have been perfect to put him up like number 1, of course, to go along with the fact that Bleach 1000-Year Blood War absolutely dominated this year, and 100% understand why. It's fucking awesome. And this figure is just so damn sick, but Unfortunately, the other figures on this list are objectively better, so I couldn't put him higher than this, but he is still so damn good. I have seen a few people say that he's not, that they think that he could have been better, and I'll admit, yes, it would have been nicer if he could have gotten some more posability in the arms here, or some more posability in the legs, but he has so much more than the other Bleach figures in the line, and I just feel so much more effort put into this guy as opposed to the others, which makes sense because he is a premium Bandai release, but this figure just looks and feels so damn great. Every single time I look at it, every single time I pick it up to pose it, and he just poses so damn good, man. I don't know what it is about the knees on this guy, but these knees are so damn satisfying to bend. Maybe it's because I've experienced, like, with all the other figures, with all the other Bleach figures, you bend them and they only go to that one thing. I don't know what it is about this damn thing, but I just constantly feel the need to pick it up and bend these knees and just watch them go to this almost full double jointed bed, and I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but it's just so fucking pleasant. Now, I will state one flaw with this figure that has arisen over the last couple weeks. This little part right here, I saw this in a bunch of other people's reviews. So this part is not the best thought out right here because this thing comes out right there. This is on a ball joint, and you take this off, of course, to put on the regular one that doesn't have the tab there for when you're storing the smaller Zangetsu right here. But I don't think this is that big a deal because I think all I need to do is put a little piece of, just put some super glue right there, pop that back in right there, because it pops off at the ball joint. This piece pops off at the ball joint right here, not this peg. This peg is not supposed to come out like that. So if you just put some super glue in there, I think that will be like 100% fine. And put a little bit in there so it never ever pops out ever again. So that's an easy fix. I really don't think it's worth that much like heartache and putting this glorious figure any lower than this, man. Oh, he's so good. Like I said, I would have loved to put him higher up, but the other figures are just objectively better, but he is super duper good, and he is my number 5. And dude, look at this. I was just going to put this guy away, and I discovered something else. I'm still discovering stuff about this figure. Look at the freaking engineering they have on this little shoulder pad right here. So obviously it's on a ball joint so it can move around, but you know what else it's on? It's on a freaking hinge. It can go all the way out. Look at that. Do you see that? They put an extra entire hinge and ball joint in there for the freaking shoulder pad, dude. I definitely feel where the money is going on this release, man. I think it is freaking awesome. Oh, and one more thing I actually need to say as well. Not only is he awesome, but he also works as a great upgrade kit for the original 1,000-Year Blood War Ichigo, because not only does the faces from this go on him, it makes them look better, because it makes them look more proportional to the rest of his body, because he has larger faces than this one. This one's faces were a lot thinner and a lot more skinnier looking, and they didn't look really, they looked kind of off. They looked fine, but they looked kind of off. But you can use the faces from him on him, and it makes him look even better as well. So not only does this figure give you an awesome dual Zangetsu Ichigo, but it also basically fixes one of the biggest problems with this as well. Just awesome, man. Dual Zangetsu Ichigo, amazing figure. Sorry, not number 5. He was number 6. And that means we're down to the top 5. Coming at the number 5, the mighty 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze. You guys know how much I love this figure. I've already gone on about it so much in my review, in my top 10 favorites of the year. He is just awesome. In my opinion, he is one of the best figures of the Naruto line, and that is a high bar because the Naruto line is fucking god tier. This thing is just awesome. I love everything about it. I love the colors. Honestly, I mean, I know it's not the anime colors, but I kind of like these colors better, honestly, because when I looked at this figure, I didn't even realize that it was the manga colors, because I just thought it looked like he did in the anime, and I like how it looks. So even if they do make an anime color version of Minato, which I'll probably still buy because, you know, it's the Naruto line, but I might even like this better because I really do like the brighter green and the brighter blues for these sections right here, man. I just love this thing. I think it's freaking awesome. I love this face sculpt with the kunai in it, of course, and he's just so damn fun to pose. I don't know what else to say about this guy at this point. I've talked about him so much. Everybody has. I haven't seen a single person not put this guy on their end of the year list. He is just freaking awesome. Number 5, SH Figuarts, Minato Namikaze. All right, number 4. I'm gonna cheat a little bit with this one. You guys knew these were gonna be on this list. These are these were so highly praised this year, and it's 100% understandable why. They are phenomenal figures. And yes, I'm putting them both in the same spot because I didn't want to give them 2 spots on this list because from the waist up, they're pretty much the same figure, obviously with different accessories and whatnot. But you know, Geto's legs are just they're different. Whatever, they are different figures, but I didn't want to give them 2 different slots. If you really don't want to count them in one, then just say Gojo's on the list and we'll just say Geto can be an honorable mention or whatnot. But really, I don't think one is better than the other. The high school Gojo and Geto are just glorious, glorious figures. These are probably the 2 single most posable SH Figuarts of all time. And I mean, it's so easy to see why, because there's just absolutely nothing getting in the way of any of the posability right here. But even with Geto having these humongous baggy pants, he still gets that full double jointed knee band right there. It's absolutely glorious. I will say his pants aren't anywhere near as baggy as they were in the anime, but I think that's a little bit of, I think that's a little bit of a nitpick. They still look really, really good, and they capture the character's likeness and whatnot. Yeah, they're just super duper fun figures, man. I'll be honest, I haven't messed with these that much. Like, I like posing them a lot, but I usually just stick them on the shelf and let them kind of... This is another figure where you just kind of put them in a pose, and pretty much no matter what pose you put them in, they look good, because they're just really good figures, man. And there's really not much to say about them. I had the same problem when I was reviewing them as well. There's just not a lot to them, obviously. There's not a lot to any of the Jujutsu Kaisen characters. The designs are just very, very basic, but these figures are phenomenal, and this is by far the best Gojo on the market right now. So, yeah, number 4, High School Gojo and Geto. Just really fun, really, really awesome figures, although I need to dust mine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the top 3, and this is where I really am, like, putting all of everything that I'm trying to base this ranking off of all together in these one thing. Because, of course, the High School Gojo and Geto, super praised, deserve all the praise. They're phenomenal freaking figures. But I feel like these 3 characters are maybe a little bit more special to people. And let's just get into it with number 3, Yusuke. I feel like, even though I'm not the person who I'm going to be talking about right here, so many people waited for this character for so long. There's so many people who love this character to no end, who have been wanting an action figure of him for so unbelievably long, and they got it this year. This obviously, Amazing Yamaguchi Yusei was my figure of the year because it's one of my favorite characters of all time, and I've been waiting for an action figure of him for my entire life. I feel like that's the same thing that's happening with all the people who love this thing so much. And it's basically perfect. It's literally a perfect figure. Like, there's absolutely 0 flaws with this figure in general. It looks so good. It's a basic outfit, but he still looks so damn good on the shelf, and the posability is just out of this world. He feels great as well. All of the freaking joints on this guy just feel amazing. It just feels like they put so much love and effort into this figure. Like, even the neck, man. Usually the neck and head are a little bit loose. Like, look at Luffy here, another phenomenal figure. His head is super duper loose, and then you bring this guy in here, and dude, like, this is not a problem with the Luffy at all. It's not a big deal to have the head be loose. It's the freaking head. But on Yusuke here, his head is so tight. That is by far the tightest neck and head joint I have ever seen in my life. Yeah, y'all, this thing is awesome. Even the accessories that are awesome as well. The bird guy that he comes with, all the alternate faces, the alternate head, just everything. He's just a perfect freaking action figure. He's going to be on so many goddamn people's list, and I had to put him on here as well, because I really do think, for a lot of people, this is a super special figure. This is probably a lot of people's favorite action figure in their entire collection, honestly. Much like how Yusei is one of my favorite figures in my entire collection. So yeah, essentially, I think that the experience that I had with this figure is the experience that a lot of you had with this figure, and that is why I am putting him as number 3 on the list. Alrighty, y'all, we're down to the top 2, and I think you all know what the top 2 are going to be, and Look, I know a lot of you are like, DK, you're biased towards Naruto. This is unfair as hell. Yusuke should have been number one or whatever. But I genuinely believe these deserve the top 2 spots. Number 2, I'm giving it to Itachi. Why do I think Itachi deserves the number 2 spot on this list? It's because he's Itachi. Itachi is maybe one of the most beloved characters in all of anime. Way before I was even a massive Naruto fan, I saw this dude fucking everywhere. I saw people loving him so much. I've seen people in my comment section, like when they ask me who my favorite character is of something, they'll say their favorite character is Itachi or whatever, like their all-time favorite character. He's just such a massive, massive character. And when I got into the series this year, and it became my favorite anime of all time, I 100% understood why. He is such an amazing fucking character. There's a reason this dude is iconic as all hell. And this is easily the quintessential action figure of Itachi right now. Essentially, one of the most famous characters in all of anime finally got a definitive action figure this year. And it's damn near perfect, and that's why I believe it should be number 2 on this list. Maybe there's some character bias going on here. Maybe there's some Naruto bias going on here, but I firmly believe this is one of the highlights of the year. And I've seen it on so many people's list, so I don't feel like it's gonna be that hot of a take or anything like that. It's fucking Itachi. And yeah, the figure looks awesome. I'll admit, this figure did not 100% live up to my expectations because I wanted him to feel a little bit... The only thing I have with this figure is the bang for your buck. He just doesn't come with that many accessories. The figure itself is basically perfect. I think they did an amazing job on the cloth goods. I can't wait to see how Pain's turns out as well because I know Pain's cloth goods is a completely different one from this guy, but they did such an amazing job on the cloth goods. All the wiring and all that is just phenomenal. I know some people wish they put a wire in the arm here. I have no idea how you could possibly want that because that would make posing his arm super weird. Like, yes, it would help get the pose where he has his hand coming out of the coat here, but I mean, it's not that hard to just like put it back here or something like that. Like maybe you could do something else with it or just bring it down here and just like that. Like it still sits pretty naturally in my opinion. Yeah, outside of the lack of accessories, he really is like a perfect figure. And for such an iconic and beloved character, I feel like he was one of the highlights of the year. So, number 2, Itachi. But of course, number 1 is Kurama Link Mode Naruto. And honestly, you can say I'm biased, but I don't think so. I think this figure is extraordinary, man. It's something about this damn thing. The plastic that they made this thing out of, it's one of the most premium action figures I have ever felt in my life. This thing feels so like... It doesn't even feel remotely similar to almost any other SH Figuarts. Saito is such an amazing quality figure. His plastic quality is phenomenal and all that. And then you look at this Naruto and you look at this plastic that they made him out of. This super glossy and beautiful freaking plastic. And it feels so good and is so aesthetically pleasing. It's on an entire other level from like any other figure that I got this year. It's freaking amazing. I even had one of my frequent commenters who got this guy for Christmas, told me it was his new favorite figure in his entire collection, man. And this would easily make my top 5 in my collection as well, dude. They just went so hard on this thing, man. It's that plastic, man. That plastic really just brings this thing to a whole nother level. The accessories are phenomenal as well. The Rasen Shuriken is awesome. Obviously, the Rasengan is great as well. Personally, I feel like once I get my Sage Mode Naruto, I'm going to prefer this over him. I don't have Sage Mode Naruto yet. I'll be getting him hopefully at some point in January. I'm just waiting for BBTS at this point. But I don't feel like Sage Mode Naruto can top this figure because I'm sure it's going to be a really, really great figure. I'm sure I'm going to love it, but I think this thing is going to be better, man. I love the plastic on him so much. He's just so damn fun to look at, man. I can't get over how sharp the face looks, despite it all being like one color. I don't even know how that happened. Even the Konoha headband, I have no idea how it looks so damn premium and so sharp, despite it all being one color of yellow right there. It's amazing. This figure's like witchcraft incarnate, man. I absolutely love this thing, and I firmly believe Kurama Link Mode Naruto is the best SH Figuarts release of 2024 that I got, of course. And ladies and gentlemen, there you freaking have it. 45 minutes later, at least for me. I'm definitely going to try and edit this down a little bit. Probably not going to be too much shorter, though. The top 20 best SH Figuarts releases of 2024, according to me, DK Guillotine. yeah, I'm pretty damn happy with how this turned out. I'm glad I got this out here. I'm really, really happy to make this as a counterpart to my top 10 favorites because, of course, that was totally subjective. This is totally objective. So I feel like I have done it. I have done both sides, you know, totally subjective and objective, given all of these wonderful figures the love and attention that they deserve. And I feel like we can finally put 2024, you know, not I don't want to say in the past because it was such a fucking great year for the hobby, and I don't want to like belittle that in any way, shape, or form. That just kind of sounds like I'm belittling it, but you know, put it aside and move on to 2025, which is already looking like another amazing year for the hobby. So there we have it. Thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is DK Guillotine, signing out.